It's Madden NFL 24 on EA Sports.
And the question is, are you ready for some football?
It's the Seattle Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Acrisure Stadium on the north shore of the Steel City, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis, thrilled to be with you from the broadcast booth. And partner, before we get this thing started, what are you going to be watching?
Who gets off to a fast start? In horse racing terms, they talk about catching a flyer out of the gate. Who sets the pace and makes the other team chase?
Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And with the terrible towels waving wildly, we are underway from Pittsburgh. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They'll be led out by a familiar face, a man with 9 Pro Bowls in 10 seasons as the Seahawks' all-time leading passer, Russell Wilson. They'll start the drive with Harris. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage. Well, there you go. This offense off to a strong start this afternoon.
Yeah, with a big run and a first down. That's putting what you practice into play. That's excellent execution to get things started.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
Now Wilson on first down. Pass complete. George Pickens with it. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Well, only 3 plays in here, but really, Charles, a solid start for this offense, and now we'll see if they can continue their mission to end this drive in 6.
And I wonder if their play caller right now is reflecting on that last big play that they've had on this drive. Do you come back with something similar, or do you have a counter to it to kind of show it and go to something else and create another big play?
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Opening carry of the game for Cordero Patterson. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
On first down, going back to Patterson. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. The impressive opening drive continues and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
Throwing is Wilson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And the Steelers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line. A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. Now run straight ahead with Warren. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead, because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go. I might come right back at them with the same play, the same set, and see if they can stop them.
Harris will score. Touchdown, Steelers.
And how nice is it to have a guy like Najee Harris in the backfield when you get down near the goal line? He can use his 230-plus pound frame to just get you those tough yards, and he finishes things off here with a touchdown run.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And he'll put it through to make it 7-0 Steelers. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Here come the Seahawks and their offense now under veteran head coach Pete Carroll. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
I still remember back in 2013 when he was drafted out of West Virginia. He was coming off of back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons for the Mountaineers. Hadn't seen as much game time in recent years, but at one point, a capable starter in the NFL.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Here's Walker to start the drive. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this 1st quarter. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here is 3rd down and 4. From the gun, here's Smith. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
And that's exactly what defenses talk about. You've got to find ways to get off the field when you can, especially on 3rd down. And 3rd down defense going to be vital in this game. Able to knock that one away and force a 4th down.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. Well, just 2 series in here, Charles, but everything's gone to script so far. They got a touchdown on their 1st drive. Their defense holds, and now they've got a chance to take a 2-score lead.
And to co-sign with you, exactly the start they scripted up. And really, that kind of start, that can set the tone for the game for them.
Play action. It's Wilson. He finds his man complete. That's Watkins. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Here's Wilson. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Fryermuth. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Harris running straight ahead. Devin Witherspoon takes him down defensively.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. Harris going to get it again on 2nd down. They had 3 yards on 1st down, just 1 yard there.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, Wilson. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. That sack, it goes to Boye Mafe.
In every game, we talk about what are going to be the keys as we go into it. Maybe that's a key for their defense today. Pressure the quarterback and make sure you play a good zone defense behind them, and they get their first sack of the contest.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. This one angles out of bounds in a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Now Gino on 1st down. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. Only able to gain a couple there, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch and turn upfield and pick up the 1st down.
2nd down and 8. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had it to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Gets past one man. It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson. Got a man, it's Patterson, complete. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Meanwhile, Wilson's throw taken in by Watkins here. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 23 yards the pickup there.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. His throw incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early. But it proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
Now it's 2nd and 10. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football. Here's 3rd and 7 as they've got it as we resume action. Now Wilson. And he'll complete this one to Patterson. So nothing doing there. And it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Eskridge going to keep this one in the end zone, and they'll start at the 25-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Throwing now is Geno. Has it complete to Jackson Smith and Jigba. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. On the counter, it's Walker. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They'll fake it. Now Smith. Throw out wide to Walker. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll make it second down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd and 4.
From the 50, it's Smith.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
He was brought down there by Julian Love.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Now a 2nd and 6.
Here's Wilson. He finds his man complete. It's Watkins. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
They go play action with Wilson. Again, that's Watkins. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
James Daniels, the guard, called for the penalty there.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. They hand this off to Harris. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Again, it's Harris on 2nd down. And he'll take this up to the 30, a gain of 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Here's Wilson to throw. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down.
Boye Mafe. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10
at the 31-yard line. Now Geno. Got a man. It's Brown. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be second down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
This 2nd and 4. Geno now to throw. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain there of 21 yards.
And this may be the one to build on right here. It's the second quarter. They've got nothing on the scoreboard as of yet. They need to put something together, and this is a good start as they get the completion there for good yardage and a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And down to the 36-yard line here. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Here's Smith now on 2nd down. This is Fant on the short completion. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, you can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
On first down, Smith. That's DK Metcalf running the slant. He's got it.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. On second down, here's Smith. Forced out to his left. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. To throw is Smith. And he's got it. And he's brought down. Now, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Walker. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
Smith. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by DeMonte Casey. And the Steelers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Charles, one thing that he referenced to us yesterday was his confidence fitting the ball into any window, but obviously that window was a little too tight and it was closing in a hurry.
And he was talking to us about having anticipation in making those types of throws. Down near the goal line, I don't think you can anticipate it as much as you need to see it open. You've got to be precise with your throws down here in the red zone. That one goes into double coverage, and he gets picked off.
After the interception, here's Wilson. A short one there to Freiermuth. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on second and a couple. From the gun, it's Wilson.
To the right side and complete to Jefferson.
He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now it's Wilson. He finds his man complete. That's Watkins. Now the Steelers going to use their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4.
To throw again is Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Throwing is Wilson. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. So we have reached halftime with our score 10-0. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, back to you two in just a bit. But first, welcome everyone to downtown Orlando and our EA Sports halftime report. We got a fine first half out of the former Alabama man, Najee Harris. He wound up finding the end zone on a touchdown run to help give his guys the advantage here at the break.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. $10-0 is our score as we get started again on EA Sports. This taken in right around the goal line. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Seahawk offense set to go to begin this 3rd quarter. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now, they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
Second and 6, just inside the 30. Smith now to throw. And this a quick slant to Lockett. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
Well, that's the kind of play that was lacking all the way through the first half. Maybe this can give them a little bit of a spark because they're not out of this game by any stretch.
On first down, it's Smith. Returning right back to Lockett. A swift move and then tackled just on the other side of midfield. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's second down. Off of play action, here's Smith. It's complete to Brown, right side. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 30. A gain of 18 and a new set of downs. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Walker now on first and 10. There's a nice move. But he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. 55 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. Throwing now is Geno. That's to the pylon and incomplete.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. Second and goal. They'll bring a tight end in motion. On second down, it's Walker. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Kenneth Walker taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Seahawks have got it back to within a score.
No touchdowns for them in the first half, but their defense kept them in this ball game. So now, maybe this can loosen them up a little because they played tight so far, and they get right back in it with a touchdown run.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. But I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
2nd and 10. Here's Wilson. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this third quarter. 3rd and 19. Third down, here's Patterson. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Returnable for Lockett. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Now Smith. He completes this to Walker. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. 65 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
Smith on 3rd down. This is Fant on the short completion. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down, at least at first glance, as he'll spot the football just beyond the marker. They find a way to convert on 3rd and inches.
Oftentimes we think of those tough yards as grinding yards that a running back has to pick up. How about the tight end there picking up the 1st down in that situation?
That's what he's there for, right?
Big fella, get it to him, let him fight off some people and pick up the necessary yardage.
And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Smith's throw into the hands of Lockett. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
From the red zone now, Smith. And that's going to be incomplete.
At this point in the second half, one mistake on a forced throw could doom your chances of a comeback, so that's the right call there to just throw that one away.
A good action to this point in the third quarter. Just a 3-point game. 2nd and 10. Here's Smith. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. T.J. Watt from that outside linebacker spot gets in there. It's a loss of 9.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. This one goes underneath to Walker, and they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down, they just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays, yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. Cordero Patterson to return it, bringing it out of the end zone. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And now out come the Steelers. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. This one brought in by Jefferson. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Second down and a little more than a yard here. Now a give, running left is Harris. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more. 2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the 1st down. They love being physical. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a toss play, it's Harris. And he'll get about 2 there to the 36. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. Now Wilson. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
If I'm making excuses, and I am, sometimes the sun can be difficult on a ball like that. That looked like it was going to be right there, but it's in and out of his hands. And a potential big play goes by the wayside.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. 1st and 10, it's Patterson. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Now it's Wilson. Middle of the field to Jefferson. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. On first down, Wilson. Looking left side for Watkins, and he's got it. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Back to the ground now, Patterson. And he'll find his way down right around the 12. Tyrell Dotson there on the tackle. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Wilson now off the bootleg. Now he's forced out right. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Russell Wilson, a 12-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers have broken our tie and have taken a fourth-quarter lead. So still time remaining here in this fourth quarter, but the touchdown there puts them back out in front.
And you and I both know that their defense will not very subtly remind everyone that they started all of this because they held firm on the last drive and only gave up a field goal. Gave it back to the offense in a tie game and said, okay, your turn now, make something happen. And they went down the field and scored.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and that makes it a 17-10 score. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Taken at the goal line. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The Seahawks take back over. They now trail by 7 after that last touchdown here in the fourth quarter. What a big spot for this offense. See if they can cobble something together on this drive. We couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. To throw is Smith. To the right side and complete to Metcalf. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the fourth. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. A give for Walker running right. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
A quick throw out to Lockett. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. It's caught inside the 25. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. They chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on third down. Pretty good timing. He waited just enough for that post play to develop and laid it right in there.
And you know what a lot of teams do when they decide to throw a post route? Because it's a little bit longer developing play, they max protect. Bring everyone in, keep the tight end in, an extra back to make sure the quarterback has time to deliver the football.
Now Gino on first down. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick.
And the Steelers are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
That's a beautiful read there by the safety. It's zone coverage, so he's just going to sit back and watch. He knows he can't get beat deep because he has the end line to protect him. So he can react to everything in front of him, and he makes a great break on the football and comes down with the interception.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field.
Another important fourth-quarter series coming up. That last INT helping to maintain their slim advantage. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so now they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school coach, John Ford. I can hear his voice in my head. Laddie, when you put the ball in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. But the way the game's being played now, this is just part of what they do, so I don't think they should change anything at all. They've been dominant. Keep throwing it around.
Now they fake the jet sweep there and a run instead with Harris. And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37. I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Steelers on third down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This time it's 3rd and 3. Wilson. And that is incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on for the 5th time here today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback.
There's Tyler Lockett and the rest of his Seattle teammates coming out for the next possession.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Smith.
He'll find Metcalf. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yep. What a great start for them. They've got to go thank the guys on D.
Running right, here's Walker. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
90 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Play action. It's Smith. Targeting the out route, and he completes this to Metcalf. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks.
Oh, I like that play call there. After a run for good yards, you get a defense thinking they'll go back to the well. So that's a great time to call play action and give your receivers a little extra edge. And they complete the pass there for another first down.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's first and 10. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's second and 10. Geno now to throw. Walker with a grab, left side. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's third and 10.
That's a nice job defensively to make sure everyone was accounted for, because ordinarily you pick up the guys downfield, and sometimes you forget about the running back. In this case, they did not and dropped him for no gain.
To the air again, Smith. Escaping the pressure right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big third down play, and he did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
Now Wilson on first down.
And he's got this to Jefferson.
And they work this out past the 25. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off.
5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down.
And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards.
Second and 6. On the give, this is Harris. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach, he's in big trouble.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Tyrell Dotson in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down.
Well, it's been a little bit of feast or famine because he's thrown for decent yardage, and obviously they've got the lead, Charles, but now he's been sacked 4 times.
And what I'm focusing on is his toughness in the pocket. Because you mentioned the feast or famine part, he's played well in between being dumped on his back. But every time he's had a chance to throw the football, he's been impressive.
Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Now it's Lockett. It'll be a 41-yard punt. Give him 5 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. So Geno and the Seahawks
trailing 17-10, a little over 20 seconds to go. Needing to go pretty much the length of the football field as they have it 1st and 10.
Here's Smith. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Probably time for 2 more shots, and ideally, they'd like to get to midfield or so they have a chance at a Hail Mary on the final play.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Smith's going to throw it.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield, and that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Well, I think we were both wondering if we were going to see them try and push it deep downfield, facing a 1-possession deficit late, and they certainly didn't disappoint. They gave it an effort.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Smith.
And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
One last throw here for Smith. He's going to let it fly.
This ball intercepted.
Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick.
And the Steelers are going to hang on the final play. They get the turnover to seal this football game. Charles, in these lower scoring games, you know it better than anybody. Points are at such a premium, but taking care of the football is king. They played turnover free from whistle to whistle, and they come through with a victory.
Yeah, and that's what won them the game, because even doing it that way, being that clean partner, they weren't able to really run away with this game. So that tells us just how important it was to make sure you played mistake-free football. That led to the victory.